Welcome to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. These are casual chats with visiting artists. Creaky barn, bugs, and all. Enjoy. Hey, welcome to Conversations from the Barn. I'm Bill Underwood. I'm here with Chris Everett, and our guest today is Carrie Elkin. Carrie, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
You are here on retreat and with a artist series performance in a couple of days. How's the week treating you?
It's rare that I don't have much to say. But I'm sort of speechless about the whole thing. It has been magic. I'm feeling relaxed because I'm not with my 4-year-old. And I am just taking good care of myself, going for lots of walks and writing like crazy. I'm inspired.
You were here for the artist series back in, I'm going to say 2013.
I think it was 9 years ago.
Yeah, so you actually have the honor of being the first artist to come back for a second artist series performance.
Really?
Really. We've had people come for an artist series and then come for Cultivate and then an artist series, but nobody's ever done the artist series twice until now. So you were here, and because of you, we vowed that we would never, ever have an artist series event before June 1st ever again, because you and Danny were back. You were here sometime in May, and maybe even like second week in May.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Well, I'd like to say, first of all, that that's a very safe time in Texas, so I didn't think much of it. But it snowed.
It snowed.
I couldn't believe it, but it snowed.
The night of your performance, it was raining. It was cold. Oh my gosh, it was probably high 40, maybe low 50.
It might be the coldest weather I have ever performed in.
Yeah.
You even had like fingerless gloves.
I did.
And a warmer and like a
Hand warmers.
hand warmer in your
Didn't
pocket.
I have a hat on?
You had a hat on.
Totally.
You both had hats on.
I remember being very bundled. I remember
Yeah.
it being kind of hard to play, but it didn't matter. The audience was so understanding.
They
They
loved
were
it.
in the same boat.
Yeah.
Right.
Except they didn't have to like play instruments or anything. But
It was raining that night. It was like kind of sleeting, and then that night it snowed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. We'll never forget it. We vowed like we would never.
It was
do
a
it again.
lesson learned.
It was a lesson.
it was,
learned.
well, I'll never forget it because for so many reasons, but one reason is the picture that we have of you with mud all over your face because we got stuck in the field
Yes.
and you were helping to push us out.
The next morning you left. You had to get back on the road because you guys were on tour.
It was like a big van or something, wasn't it?
Oh no.
No.
No, I'm sure it was like a tiny car because that's what we used to rent.
Yeah.
A compact. You had such a good attitude about it though.
It was like, and you had to get on the road. Like, this was not a, oh, take care, see you later. Like, we had to get you on the road.
We had to go.
Which was why
Yeah.
it was kind of like, I remember just like falling like to my knees. Like,
You
in
did.
The mud. It was so muddy.
You were such a good sport. Like you had mud all over. You had black
everywhere.
glasses that were,
Yeah.
I mean, you were covered. This is Bill, by the way, that we're talking to. Covered in mud. Where were you?
I was
we
making
still don't
breakfast,
know.
I think.
No, you really weren't. You were not.
I know. Do you think, I feel like maybe you were watching out the window.
Yeah, and laughing.
I had no idea what was going on until he walked in, and I'm like,
What just
okay,
happened?
what's going on?
I know.
Because that's back before it was a field. So it would have been
on the other
like
side of the
tilled
trees.
up.
It was something
It was
else.
something. Yeah.
Anyway,
So here you are, you're back.
I feel honored. I'm really glad to be back with this weather.
Kind of a different experience.
It is. Well, also I get to be here for like a week. I feel like the most spoiled human
It
on
is.
earth.
It is the most beautiful week of the summer so far.
I will say for us, besides the weather, to walk on the lawn and hear your beautiful music coming out of this barn every single day is such a treat.
It's such a funny, thank you. It's such a funny thing to like have people witnessing process. It's a little nerve-wracking. But I'm getting used to it. It's nice. I mean, I pretend like only the chickens are listening.
And they are.
But it is really nice actually to have a witness to it. You get to witness maybe a lot of retreat time with people, but
A lot of creation. Yeah.
How you had talked when you first got here that you were kind of set up in the artist retreat. You're like, I think I could just stay here.
Oh yeah.
But the barn pulled you out. You've been out here by this
I have not left.
view. Yeah. How has it held you? What's it been like?
Oh, it's just such a gentle space. I feel cradled. I mean, I don't know how to describe it to the listeners, but I'm like, there's a barn door in front of me and this beautiful farm table, and I'm looking out and there's hydrangeas and there's like a butterfly bush kind of situation, and there's so many butterflies right now.
Right, yeah.
And hummingbirds. So I chose to sit here because I'm overlooking this beautiful hydrangea butterfly thing. And I did think I was going to stay in the little cottage that I'm in, and I maybe somewhat out of laziness, because I didn't want to lug my amp up here. And I was like, it's time to lug all the things. And it happened pretty quickly. I realized I needed to be outside. And the breeze.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of my favorite things. I walk in here in the morning, and I've been trying to show up early to my work, and because I can. And I've been walking in, and I just now have this little order of doing things, of opening things and plugging the twinkle lights in, and it just is like, it's magic. And then at the end of the night, when I start to get really freezing cold and I'm trying to cover up with a bunch of blankets, I'm like, maybe it's time to go. And I go through that little order and close everything up. And it feels really nice to have a routine and consistency like that. I think good art comes from that.
You, we know that you're a nature baby.
I am a nature baby.
How has it been this week at this particular piece of land?
It's so, I lived in Taos, New Mexico for many years, and in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Those were sort of my two main mountain places to live, and my naturey places. I lived in a 300 square foot cabin on like 2,000 acres in the middle of the woods, where I could walk out of this little cabin and hike for forever, basically. It felt like. And I loved it, but there is something about being here. Like there's a trapped feeling in the mountains sometimes. And there's something about the openness here and the fields, and it's like sort of rolling hills in the back. And, it feels more freeing to me in a way and more grounding. I've really, hiking the trails through here has been beautiful. I just walk, and then all of a sudden I'm at a little pet cemetery or in a cornfield, or sitting in two chairs that are just like calling my name randomly in the middle of the farm. I mean, yeah, today I walked up and the sun was so beautiful, and I moved a little side table around on this chair, these secret chairs that seemed to be just hanging out, and I hung out for probably 30 minutes just like laying back and trying to figure what I was going to write next. And
What came to you?
I was like, I need to write something not so depressing. I've been doing a lot of like deep digging here and a lot of crying during process, which feels lovely. And much needed, you know, it's been really cathartic. So I decided, I was like, I should write a song. I've always wanted to write a song about my dad's penny collection, which was a huge collection and one that I have a wheatback penny tattooed on my arm.
Which I've been wanting to ask you about for the last 4 days.
Oh.
And now here it comes.
You want to hear about it?
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, so I think I've talked to you guys a little bit about, I lost my father 6 years ago, and I was with him. We were very close, and I was with him for the last 30 days of his life. He was basically diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and then and was given 30 days to live. And as I've shared with you, he was a triathlete and a weightlifter, and was very healthy, and we kind of thought he would outlive all of us. So it was a bit of a shock. But then being with him during that time was one of the most beautiful gifts I've ever been given. And after he did pass, we were cleaning out his basement, and we found 600,000 pennies.
Oh my gosh.
And he had been, I knew he was a penny collector. It was just part of our family growing up. We would anyway, he was a penny collector. I didn't know the extent of it. And I had thought that we had gotten rid of a lot of the pennies right before he died. Like, he came to the bank with me to deposit all these pennies that were in his bedroom. And then when I went down to the basement, I could just hear him laughing at me. But there were boxes, and they were all labeled, and all the pennies were rolled. They were in rolls.
Of course they were.
Yeah. And so finding a wheatback penny growing up was just such a big deal in our family. We just thought it was the best thing ever. It was such good luck, and there weren't that many of them, so it was it was great. But so we, I didn't want 600,000 pennies. I was like, what am I? Yeah.
Let's talk about just the size there for a second.
Are
we talking a bathtub? Are
3 tons of pennies, actually. I figured it out.
3 tons?
Yeah, I was figuring this
6,000
out as I was
pounds.
carrying them up the stairs.
Oh my God.
And at the time I drove a little Honda Fit, which only fit 150,000 pennies. So, but I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm just going to drive them to the bank.
They're already rolled.
They're rolled.
Yeah.
But then I got to the bank, and they said, we do not take rolled coins. You have to use the change machine. And so I stood at this change machine and broke open coins until my hands were raw, and then there's only the bag that holds the pennies in these change machines only holds $50 of pennies. And so there was just a bank teller basically sitting next to the machine and changing bag after bag after bag. And I kept saying, are you sure? I cannot just give these to
You're
you.
like the annoying person at the grocery store who walks up with a cart that's overflowing and you've got a jug of milk, right?
I wish you would have
You had to have been there for 4 hours, 5 hours.
Well, it took me 4 days because I would I did let people go in front of me. And then I got to tell the story of my dad, which was this beautiful, I have these because of this guy who was such an amazing human. And I was really worried about it because I really wanted the wheatback pennies. And I was like, I'm just depositing all of this, and I felt like it was going to be this practice and non-attachment. But then for whatever, the weight of the wheatback was different. So the wheatbacks kept, they were being spit out of the machine.
They would get kicked out.
So I ended up with all the wheatback pennies.
Well, that's genius.
So then I tattooed a wheatback penny on my arm.
That's amazing.
Yeah. It was such a funny, Danny was with me, my husband Danny, and we were going kind of bank to bank, and one bank would call the next bank that we were going to let them know that we were coming. And then it's the only time that I've gotten to wheel money in on a cart. So, yeah.
I'm
We felt-
understanding why we have a coin shortage right now. I think.
We were like the anti-Bonnie and Clyde, just like, like depositing change like all over the country. We had to go to a couple different states, and yeah, it was really funny. Wow. But it was a great way to sort of have this like celebration of my dad at a time that was really difficult. But
Did you find a song?
well, that's what I'm working on right now. I finally, when I was sitting up in the chairs, the secret chairs, I thought I really need to write a song about
The Wheatback Penny.
the wheatback penny, or just pennies. My last record is called The Penny Collector, and it came from that time, but I never actually wrote a song about the penny collector, my dad, about his penny collection. So it's turned into like a little bit of a country song, which it's not really my thing, but I'm going with it. I almost gave it up like 6 times today, and it keeps drawing me back.
I hope Bonnie and Clyde are in there somewhere.
They should be.
Yeah.
I know. It's really about just like these moments in my life that I remember having sort of my dad all to myself, and like how sweet, like we had all these sweet moments because my brother didn't like roller coasters, but I did. So those were like these moments that my dad and I would have, So it came around to that.
You have not performed, if I remember right, in how long? In front of a live audience.
Since November of 2019.
So Saturday night's performance, what is it like?
Oof.
What are the emotions right now?
I mean, I start crying when I think about it. I can't imagine, because we've done online shows, and we've gotten good at doing them and trying to like feel an attachment in some way to like the people, but it's impossible to play shows without an energetic exchange. Like it just feels, it doesn't feel like there's purpose in the show unless you're having an exchange with someone, So I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to just look out at people that aren't on Zoom.
Three-dimensional people.
I know, like actual people. I don't know, maybe I'm going to touch them all. No, I'm not going to. It's tempting though.
But it's an energetic thing. I'm an energy person.
I
and
know,
it's just
right?
Like if you're not, you have to feed and respond to it, and the exchange is the right word.
It is. And like singing in this space gives an energetic exchange too, which is part of why I'm working in here. And then have it like to have it be filled with people. I don't know. I can't even imagine it. I can't imagine like singing through a sound system or even turning it off and just singing in this space for a show in front of people. I don't know. I can't wait.
We can't wait.
We can't wait. Yeah.
I have a suggestion.
Ooh.
Something that we have never done on Conversations from the Barn before.
Does it rhyme with spirit animal?
It does.
I love it.
So this week, one of our great delights is we've had a happy hour with Miss Carrie, and we were just talking about, maybe this isn't Conversations from the Barn, it's Conversations from the Charcuterie Board. Because it's delicious.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. But you also brought your spirit animal cards, and I'm wondering if live on air you would do a spirit animal for Bill Underwood.
No, I think you should pull it for you. Have
Me?
you done it yet
Yeah,
today?
you have. Well,
I did one today. Do you know? But I've been trying to do one at breakfast, one at lunch, and one at this time.
Well, I think you should do it then.
I think you should.
I think that's a great idea.
It has to be me. I
really
pulled
should be
the
you.
otter earlier, which is like the most joyful card of the deck, and it says I should dance. And I was like, oh, that's what I've been doing. I cleared out the middle of the barn so I could dance. This is going to be loud maybe here. Are we ready?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
ready.
Christopher's probably going to edit this part out.
What if it's
No, I don't think so.
No.
I'd be fine if you do.
There's not a black fly cloud in there.
I mean,
Carrie.
what? They aren't biting flies.
No, they're not. They're just, yeah.
There's some flies here, y'all. Okay. Oh, This feels okay.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that. Oh,
I picked a spirit card.
Wow.
The sea serpent.
It's like a giant eye.
This is so. I mean, it makes me want to sing the song I just wrote, which I'm not going to do, but the sea serpent, it says healing emotional wounds and expressing desires. I mean, this is like what both songs that I mean, it's, The sea serpent represents the energy of expression, whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire. The sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. I'll stop there, but it's about like that.
wow.
Isn't that beautiful?
I love it. How fitting.
It represents the chakra that's deep within the pelvic bowl. You might edit that part.
There's a bowl.
Or you might keep it, it's fine. I am blushing now. Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We always end our podcast with the same question. So here it is. How have you experienced beauty today?
I mean, this is going to be like okay, I'll do a short answer. I was sitting in my cottage, which I haven't spent very much time in, and I was looking out the window at the chickens. And it's the hummingbirds and the butterflies right now. Are the butterflies migrating? Is it that time that they're starting to like move toward
I'm not really
It's
sure.
just the blooming flowers.
I mean,
We've got so much
talk
blooming on the
about
farm.
like I would like the beauty that I experienced today is all about like all of the wildlife is taking advantage of what's happening right now, and it's so awesome to watch. Like they're just everything is fluttering about, and everything seems so happy right now, including me. I'm feeling it.
Are you fluttering too?
I am fluttering.
I can't wait for you to flutter on stage on Saturday night.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited.
Welcome
Thank you.
back.
Thank you.
It's so good to have you here.
It's so good to have you here.
It's so good to be here. And it really is a place that I have been like, I've had a deep desire to return here. So thank you for bringing me back.
Thanks for listening to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. Our theme music is provided by John Mark Nelson. Wishing you all good health.